Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video on the channel. As we know, we all love a magic enchanting video on the channel. Obviously, I'm a big advocate and I do say that magic is one of the best skills in the game to make profit from. And this video will be no different. So we've sort of gone through quite a lot of the enchanting, the alching sort of things. However, one thing we've missed off is Bakriminal bolts. Bakriminal bolts are the highest tier of ranging bolts, and they're sort of very niche and are used in certain situations. Now, what I didn't realise is that with Bakriminal bolts, there's quite a big margin when enchanting them. I didn't think the demand was there, and I've never really seen it as an actual genuine moneymaker, but apparently there's a lot of profits in them currently. As you can see, I've been testing it to make sure it worked before I did it, and I want to show you guys here. Now, what I would say from experience buying these, I would definitely do these on a slow buy. You can really get the price very low. I know here I bought Opal Bakriminal bolts for 956. I've actually managed to get them as low as like 650. They did stop at like a random 400 sold, but then after that I've had to increase the price there. So in terms of enchanting, they're no different to normal. They will be a bit more expensive on the rune side, but if we just go and change the spellbook, I'll go and change it now, come back and I'll talk through the price for how much it's going to cost. Right, so we have just changed our magics. Now time to look at the enchanting spells. Now, Bakriminal bolts are a little bit different from the rest. They are more expensive to enchant because they include blood runes. Now, when I was testing the margins here, I was making sort of roughly 300 to 400 GP per like 10 bolts. Make sure to remember as well that whenever you're enchanting bolts, the spell goes for 10 bolts. So we can work the profit out roughly of what we need. So we're going to start with Emerald. So with an Emerald, you need a Nature, Cosmic and a Blood. So if we just price check those now, Blood, Cosmic, and if we do the normal ones. So roughly we need to be like 1.6k to make some form of profit. And if we just enchant them, if we would test the price, 2k for that as well. So which is pretty good profit, like 400 GP per bolt is like manageable. It gives you some scope to change the price if you need to, just to be like a little bit cheaper, just to make sure we sell. And Bakriminal bolts as well is, I can show by the thing here, you have quite a big range of things to change. Obviously some bolts will be better than the others. So for in terms of like the PVM side, the ones which would be really good, Diamond, Ruby and the Hydrix ones. Those are the ones which have the most demand because they are the most useful. However, when I was looking at this, for some reason Emerald and Opal made the most profit and I don't know why. For the Opal, you're going to need a Cosmic and a Blood, and the Battle Staff will cover the airs. So for the Opal, we need to be roughly 1.2k. And if we were to make a set of Opals, they sell for 2k. So these have got a massive margin. I don't think they'll sell for that price. Same with the Emeralds. They're just a bit too niche to go for the GE price. So what I'll do, I'll just test the absolute like bottom limit to start with. And this is the problem with these being niche, is that it could be anywhere. So 1.2k is absolute floor. And that'll be someone putting like a low ball flip in. Now, I won't sell for that. I'll know I need to be over 1.6k. So for me, if I go 1,595, that's still roughly like nearly 300 GP profit per bolt. And with how quick you make the bolts as well, that will rack up very quick. We're low enough under the buy limit or the buying price where we've got a chance to sell, but there's also a chance that these items just need to be a slow sell. I just don't think there's enough demand for them to be quick. Things like Onyx bolts, Endry bolts as well, they're bought to ALK, so they will always like be turned and burnt. These are used for PVM because they don't have an out price. The Opal bolts have got a much bigger margin, so I think it needs to be over 1200 GP, but this is just under 2.2k. I'm going to go 1755 because for us that'll still be over 500 GP profit per bolt, which is pretty massive for enchanting, but it means someone might get a deal as well. So these will be slow sells. Don't get me wrong, I think anytime you do Bakriminal bolts, because they're so niche and like used for certain areas of PVM, they will always be slow sells anyway. But this is a chance for high-end, profitable enchanting. As you can see, my emeralds just sell, and that is roughly 300 GP profit per bolt. So we'll give the Opal ones a little bit longer to sell. I've actually bought some Hydrix bolts just to try and see if they're any decent. And again, this is why I always say, have a play around with the different like variants of the item. So things like bolts, there's loads of other bolt sets for you to try, and you might find something better. So for us, 7.45 each for a bolt. Hydrix bolts as well is going to require Death, Cosmic and a Blood. So we need to be 7.9k. 7.9k to make profit for Hydrix. I'll just keep making the one which don't sell. So if I make some Hydrix at 8.6k, now these should hopefully be quicker to sell. Maybe not. And again, these are the best tier like PVM bolts and they're not quite selling quick. 11.8 will still give us like 100 GP. Yeah, what I'd do is adjust the price and just sit and wait. Be low enough under like the medium price to where it's a decent profit for you. And this is a good thing, at least with these bolts. They've got a high enough sort of like margin for you to play around and work with what's best. These are definitely bolts where you'll buy them, enchant them, maybe even look at fletching the tips onto the bolts for a little bit more profit or to make your margin even bigger. And then just leave them in the GE to sell. They will sell eventually. They're just that niche that not a lot of people buy them. But use it to your advantage. With this sort of market, it means low volume can hit. Like a buyer will just whack in a plus 20% and you might have a chance to sell over mid. You just don't know how it really works. So that's why I always say, like, check the margins, see which bolts work best in terms of profit, see which bolts sort of the most in demand. So for me, I wouldn't really move around Emerald, Opal, Ruby, Diamond, and Hydrix. Those are the 5 I do for Bakriminals. Definitely look at what price or what profit it is to fletch them as well, and put in the gem tips onto the bolts, and then look at what price it is to enchant them as well. There's plenty of play in here, and as well, because it's such a niche sort of item and a niche sort of market, you might have a chance just to adjust the price, or you've got plenty of room to play with the price as well. So that is definitely something to try. But I know this is another quick magic video. I know it's something related to enchanting, but there's so many different ways for magic. Magic can, I know in this game it's all combat, but skilling, enchanting, alching and stuff like that, things you can do quite AFK. They do make a lot of money, and if you need sort of a skill to train and become an income source, especially if you're a low level or you're new to members, magic is something to do very quickly and to level very quickly, and will bring a lot of GP in your account just to build your account up and so you can train other stuff. There's definitely a lot worse money making methods in some of the magic stuff. I mean, Rings of Dueling, which I've been going on about since last year, since we did the early stages of a noob account, that still makes really good money, and it's something you can get into at like level 27 magic. And you're pretty much going from there. I mean, even games necklaces, they were having a point where they were doing like 2k profit per enchant. It just depends on like you spotting it and working with it as well, and knowing what to look for, which is what I try and like teach in these videos and what I try and show you guys. But it's stuff like, if you keep an eye out for it, keep an eye on the price, check it consistently, get into that market in that zone, you'll be able to pick up stuff like that as well. But yeah, so these are the bolts. These will sell. I know I say it sometimes, quite a few times to be fair. If they do sell, I'll make sure to put it in my community tab. Sometimes it sells in another video and I'll just randomly point out, oh yeah, this is sold, but that's why. But I'll keep an eye on them. They'll probably sell tomorrow morning, and I'll try and make sure to drop it just so you guys can see, look, this is definitely selling, because I don't want to hide anything. I want to make sure you guys see whatever I do, you can do, and it does work as well. So if you have enjoyed, please leave a like, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys very soon in another video.